I can't believe that I did a movie that is going to be on a global stage about being gay and Muslim.
People want you to show up ugly. Like, I know we all talk about like authenticity and stuff, but it is real.
I really do believe that we're all just taller toddlers. And it's time to start talking about it. Because you're supposed to like your life.
Oh my goodness gracious. Today I'm having a play date with Sureni and Akbar. I've kind of like never been so excited in my life. This might be one of the most exciting play dates I've had. Cheers, first of all.
Cheers. This is such a toddler cheers.
Okay.
A toddler toast.
I have a toddler toast. I have to just start by saying, before we get into the rules, the snacks, the games, Akbar walked up to this table and said that he was about to throw like a tantrum meltdown.
A terrible twos fit.
A terrible twos fit.
Oh, I missed that.
I feel the same. You were peeing, but I feel the same. So I think
bush peeing over there.
She peed in a bush. I still sometimes like being on a road trip and peeing on the side of the road.
I think it brings me back to my animalistic roots, which I love.
1,000%. I think it's wholesome. I think it feels
Your
good.
toddleristic
I think it feels relaxed.
roots.
Your toddleristic roots. But before we get into anything today, I think we should just like take a moment to like lose our shit.
Please.
You know, like
so,
just like have
stomp.
a little like.
Sorry,
I just like need to. I'm gonna do like that. I'm gonna do like a noiseless scream. Okay.
Okay.
So ready? I'm not gonna actually scream because like we will get kicked out.
And you're on vocal rest.
You can watch me
so
do
you
it.
can't
I'm
scream.
on vocal rest, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna get focused, and I'm just gonna lose my shit for 2 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Done.
The rest of the week's going to be great.
I feel great. I feel better.
But that's what, even just knowing I was coming to this interview, like, made me happy. Because I was, you know, because there was like a moment where I'm in the Uber and I'm like, everything's going to shit and what the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. Can you swear on this?
Yes,
I don't know.
you can, please
and then I just started laughing because I was like, I'm literally like a terrible twos toddler right now. And I was like, I'm going to this interview and that's like the perfect energy to go in with.
And by the way, of course it is. And by the way, you realize that as a grown-up, I've realized when you actually just like let it out for a second,
you feel so much better.
Actually feel better. The problem is there's like no space to do that. You can't like do that at a WeWork. You know what I mean?
You go to the bathroom, you figure it out.
Right.
You lock yourself into the disabled stall.
Well,
and you act up. You act up.
But don't you think we need like soundproof bathroom stalls or like a screaming room
I
or
used
something?
to do,
I would love that.
When I worked
Have you been to what is it, like a crash room or like?
Oh, where you get to break things?
I
want to do that. I need to do that.
So that's how you kind of let it go, let it release. When I worked at ABC News, and Emily knows this, I would go in the bathroom and film myself taking deep breaths in the bathroom. And I would do like a big second position, grand plie, like my dancer child self, and it helped me
where did you post
deal
this
with Donald
footage?
Trump. On TikTok, this was before the chocolate purse, so not to bury the lead. Imagine if I just whipped out the chocolate purse. But guys, really there's no rules here. Obviously, just like share, play with Play-Doh. I do have some snacks.
Okay, these were my favorite.
Yeah.
And also, I would literally, because my mom would be like, why are you eating them so quickly? Because I would love the cheese.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, this is,
So I would...
That's what you had. You pulled up with one of these. Is it just me or are these gotten less juicy?
I don't know, but you're about to find out.
I would eat all the cheese and throw the crackers. So I would eat like 4 a day. And my mom was like, what are you doing? But I wasn't really eating the crackers.
Wait, by the way, fake cheese is like the best thing ever.
And then I discovered the canned one, and
it's the best. No, but also, did you guys ever have the Oreo ones of this with the white frosting? It was like Oreo with frosting.
Yes.
Sick.
I still think these are better. But I do love.
Okay, well you have
where should I put this?
Wherever you want on the floor. You have to test out.
Oh my God.
Are they hitting? Can I have one?
Is it squishing?
Eat what you're supposed to eat. Like it'd be weird if you didn't.
This is the meal. This is my dessert.
They're all together. Okay, hang on. So while we open,
you're right. They're not
as squishy, right?
Let me try.
And that's on capitalism.
Okay.
No, I just
They're literally they're skimping. They're skimping on the squishy part.
Hold on.
the rules just got more strict because of all like FDA and whatever. Right?
What? What are you saying? No, actually keep going. I want to hear this.
Yeah, come on, Akbar. Come on.
I feel like this is how a toddler would explain it.
The FDA or whatever.
That's the Food and Drug, right? I think the FDA just got more strict. That's why like kids nowadays have so many allergies. I feel like they're like one and they're allergic to the world. But I feel like we ate everything, and
Oh yeah.
So they're like, you can have some, but not all.
I think things have just like gotten more processed. I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, this was probably pretty, but I think it was like chicer processed or something.
Totally. Keep
when
it
I was
chic,
eating
keep
it, you know?
processed, keep it fake cheese. We're loving this. We're feeling good. We're doing the happy food dance, which is a perfect time to really go back to what you both were like as kids. And I'm not saying like I was loud, I was quiet. I do want to know that.
Wait, they took the sticks out.
They did take the red stick out.
What?
See?
You see?
That was like the embarrassing embarrassment because I forgot that there was a stick. You're so right. There was
a stick.
Oh
I would
my
like
God.
eat those in my mom's car,
And they
and
made
like
this wider to dip.
She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5 was
The
playing.
plastic quality is also less. They're getting all like sustainable.
Okay, well,
I think sustainable is a nice way to put
this is sustainable. This is sustainability.
Sustainability right here.
cutting corners.
Okay, hold on. So let's start with Sureni.
Okay.
Well, I know you're from Sri Lanka.
Yes.
What were you like as a kid? What did you do for fun? What were your after school activities? What kept you up under the covers at night?
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna switch.
Okay. What was it like as a kid? I was honestly, I had an attitude.
Honestly,
I was a little diva. Okay, damn. Okay, shit.
I mean, same. Have you met me?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, one thing that I remember distinctly is I hated having photos taken of me as a kid. So every photo of me as a kid is like, oh shit. It's like, here, it's like this. And like it's all my parents like begging me to take a photo, and I'm like, no, I don't want it. I don't want to be perceived. I don't want to blah blah blah.
Right,
and now
right.
look at me. I go out on stage and I perform.
Now you're doing movies.
I know. Now I'm doing movies.
Yeah,
now I'm doing cinema.
Now you're an Oscar-winning actress. How does it feel?
Feels electric.
That's really funny. Okay.
I was like, I think I was like, I don't know. I didn't like sharing. Like, I don't know where that came from. I feel like I didn't like sharing as a kid.
Did you have siblings?
I had an older brother.
Okay.
And he obviously was a little annoyed when I was born because like, the attention got away from him.
Totally.
I'm very like little sister in that way. You know what I mean? I'm like very like Nungi. Like that's like little sister in Sinhalese. Just very like. I feel like I was a little shit, but I was also adorable.
I believe it. You got to send me a picture of you as a
adorable.
kid.
But I think I was just like. I don't know. I don't know why I am the way I am.
Do any of us know?
I don't
None
know.
of us know. Our parents think they know, but no one knows.
Yeah, I feel like I kept to myself. I was very independent. Like I remember when my parents dropped my brother off at school. He was crying, he was begging, like, Mom, don't go. And then when I went to kindergarten, my mom was like, no, Dad, you're taking her.
Right.
You're gonna take this shift. And when I got dropped off, I was like, see ya. Like, I was like Miss Independent.
Love. Are you still?
Also, she
A
went
little
to
bit.
Berkeley.
I don't know how to ask for help. What? Oh, Berkeley? I thought we were talking about toddler.
humble brag,
Yeah,
I mean-
I was
Okay.
a 7-year-old that went to Berkeley.
Right. Perfect.
I went to Berkeley. I didn't like it. I dropped out. I had good grades. It was a choice. But I went for 2.5 years. Yeah, I got in. My mom said to get into a good college. She never said to finish. So
you did exactly.
I did exactly that.
You fulfilled the immigrant parent dream.
And they were stoked. Yeah.
So that's hilarious. I'm just processing how funny that is. But do you think that, what perspective do you have? Like, what are your thoughts on the college experience in general?
I think any college can be a good college if you make it a good college. I think it's a resource, right? So it's like, how do you show up for it
Totally.
and do it? I think that college is also like, it's sadly like, it depends on what you're trying to do though. Like, I don't think college is just about just the education. Like, I love learning, but I don't always love how we learn in school. And like the methods, I felt like I was doing a lot of busy work and it was like wasting my time in some moments. I also feel like it's hard to just be thrown into such a heavy academic world when you're like still figuring out what the fuck you want to study.
100%.
Like, I came in with environmental science thinking I was gonna like save the world, and then I was like, wow, that's a lot of science, and then I pivoted and then I found stand-up, and then I was like, oh, that's what I want to do.
That's a major pivot though.
Yeah, I mean, I was always doing the arts. Like, I was doing singing actually before stand-up.
Okay.
I really wanted to be like, I used to do like YouTube videos. I remember I actually submitted to Kids Bop as like a kid.
Wait, that is wild.
That's wild. What was the song? What was the rendition? And please
I think
sing
I did
a little
Sunday
bit.
Morning by Maroon 5. I'm not going to
Please.
sing because I'm on vocal rest.
Okay,
but
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. But I wanted to be a singer, and I was always like painting and editing videos and making comedy sketches and stuff.
You're an
And, like,
artiste.
I just liked creating shit. you know? And I was
Totally.
always like, my parents were very overprotective of me, so I couldn't leave the house. So I was just like at home. My brother was in college. college. And so I was just like occupying myself, like doing shit in my room while my parents were trying to pay bills, you know? So I was just like keeping myself busy.
Totally.
And it was always like a safe place for me to be creating something, because like also when you make something, like it's free, like it doesn't cost anything. So how do you make fun when you have no means to like buy fun?
Absolutely.
And
I think more grown-ups need to be doing that.
Yeah, and like I also think, I realized that I think I found comedy because it was just a way that I could get away with being myself, or people accepting me, because nobody asks the funny person deeper questions. They just want to laugh. They just listen.
Well, I might ask the funny person some deeper questions.
Ask some deeper questions.
Holy shit. Well, that, and now I'm on the spot, but that, I do think that we, like, I talk about this all the time, but I do think that adulting, there is no way to do it right. But I think a through line, and what I've learned through these conversations I've had with awesome humans like yourself, is like, it really is about figuring out and going back to who you were as 7-year-old Sureni before the world got its hands on you. And that's hard, and I think it can be easier for creatives, but there can also be a lot of like deep, dark bouts of doubt, depression, uncertainty. But I'm also like, let's abandon the narrative that like to be a successful creative, you have to be insanely struggling or depressed.
No, I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
I don't think you need to suffer to make art. I think that's like an archaic take, yeah. I'm like, I think I'm the best when I am like, all my Maslow's hierarchy of needs are
Totally.
But I will say the more healed I get, I saw this on TikTok the other day, the more healed I get, the less ambitious I get.
Like, you mean in the rat race to produce?
Yeah.
And to just slow down.
It's more like I want to create because I want to create as opposed to a means to an end.
That's the best place to be, though.
Well, yeah.
That's when the magic
Absolutely. Like, that's where it's like the most potent, pure art comes from. But like, I do find that like sometimes I am more interested in just being. Like, I don't need to accomplish something to validate myself. I just simply need to have my needs met and feel emotionally fulfilled in the art that I create.
Totally.
Which is like part of that self-actualization.
Have you read The Creative Act by Rick Rubin?
No, but I
Either of you?
I've heard it's a really good book.
It's actually incredible, and it helped me in my, what I call my CCJ, Creative Come to Jesus. Helped me like remember why we do the thing that we do as creatives, as artists, and like not always for pay or for follows or for whatever, but just for like the art and the whole cool thing that we're living beings, that we get to do this thing called life and creative.
Absolutely.
I have no idea what you were like as a kid, and I need to know. Like, tell me actually everything.
Oh my God. I was like a mix of things. I mean, I was like, because I went through like different phases. I feel like I was like really like, I mean, I remember at that age, I was probably really open.
Where are you
like
from again?
Pakistan.
Okay.
I was born in Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
And then when I was born, we moved back to Pakistan, sort of the reverse. And then we moved back in 8th grade. But I think until like 2nd, 3rd grade, I was so like, that's when I was doing school plays. I did all kinds of things. I was Puss in Boots. I was Snow White. I mean, I had range.
I love that.
I was pretty both in every gender, as they, them, he, she, he, all of it, you know?
Love.
But at that point, you actually don't even think about that stuff. Like, I remember being Snow White and not, like, thinking it was, I mean, not that it should be weird or it's weird for anyone to be Snow White, but, like, you know, what society thinks is weird for a traditionally boy to be a traditional female role.
Right.
Especially back then, but I didn't really feel that. It was just fun. And I did My Fair Lady, Eliza Doolittle, like, I did a little scene. My siblings and I actually, we had when the video cameras came out, whatever they were called, when you had the little cassettes, and we would make all kinds of home movies, and we would make up scenarios, and some of them were kind of like disturbing. We did one scene where like my little cousins and I were all covered in like black ashy makeup because we had just come out of a bomb blast. You know how horrific as kids, right? Yeah, as little kids, but like you were seeing that on the news. Right. And we're in Pakistan, so we're like, oh, we're in the Middle East and there was an explosion, and like we're the survivors, you know? I swear, like,
just
this
take a moment for that.
Right? But I mean, it's really sad to actually, I don't even mean to say, I know so much horrible stuff like that is happening to kids around the world, but what I'm saying is even back then that was our imagination because of what we were seeing on the news. And then we started watching Oprah as kids, and we would watch these soap operas, like, because that's all that you would get in Pakistan at the time, like with Satellite Bold and the Beautiful and all that stuff. And so we would do these mixed like talk shows. Like it was an Oprah talk show, but there was a couple on there. It was sort of like Maury or Jerry Springer meets Oprah. It was like
that's so funny.
And so we were with my siblings who were all really creative and fun. And like I wish that was encouraged, because I honestly think my middle brother would have been an incredible filmmaker and director, because he was the one directing everything, right? He would like stop and be like, no, do it like this, throw the shoe like this, so like at that young age. And then for me, I loved the being on screen, which clearly is something I'm excited to explore now, but again, wasn't encouraged. But I think it's okay. You take the path you're meant to take, right? And it still brings you back to what you were meant to do.
And you come back to it at different times. Did you take a break from acting for a while?
So I didn't, after elementary school, I didn't pursue it all. I remember, so then, then life happened, and I became, you hit puberty and all, and I became this awkward teenager.
You do. Late bloomer over here.
Yeah, and
late bloomer, anyone?
Majorly late.
Guys.
I was really late.
I'm perfect.
Okay, so you're perfect, but I got my period in the 10th grade.
Oh, wait.
That is late. I was 15, and every time another girl got her period, I would cry because I still hadn't. And then when I got it, I told the whole school because I was so proud. I think I probably ran out of the bathroom with tampons.
That's
how late of a bloomer were you?
I like to imagine, people, like, when they pass tampons, the cause are very, like, covert, but you're like...
No, I literally was like, they are here, play text.
I'm bleeding a lot.
That is...
like, profusely, like, frankly...
So proud. Right? Like,
so when did you get your period?
Well, yeah.
I'm pregnant now.
I constantly have my period, I think, but
totally.
I think I looked like an awkward middle schooler till college. So like it was rough. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like
braces?
with the no braces, but like the 3 hairs and like very like. Yeah. But it was so, and then it got weird because then we moved back to the U.S. and like I didn't know what I was struggling with, but it was my sexuality. There was nobody to talk to, so it was like a very awkward.
Been there.
Yeah. It was a very awkward.
Happy Pride.
Yeah, happy Pride. It was a very awkward phase, and at that point, I felt like I didn't belong in the front of the camera or anything. So I did like stage. What's it called when you do the
stage management?
Yeah, like for the plays. Yeah. There's a word for it. It's like and then you like
crew. I don't know.
Yeah, stage crew.
Stage crew.
And you flipped it, but I remember always. I wanted to be around it, but I remember seeing all what I thought were the pretty cool people because I didn't think I was that at the time, right?
You are.
And thank you.
Cool.
And I remember like seeing, you're watching from behind the stage, and I want, I would get excited and I would know the lines, and I'm like, but like I didn't feel like I deserved it. So I think that was, but that's it's a real thing. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Tears are,
and that's why I think self-worth is so important to teach kids, toddlers, any age is so important, because it took me, I'm 39 now, it took me probably 35 years of my life, I'm 0 to 35, to achieve it. I hate pigeons. Definitely fear. Yeah, so I think that's why the break happened, because I didn't think I deserved
right.
to be like in front and center, or I wasn't good enough, or whatever it might be.
I feel like there's something wrong with you, where it's like, why is everybody feeling X way, but I am grappling with these feelings? Like, I feel it's very similar to like when I was younger. I didn't realize what I was also struggling with was my sexuality. I think that's why I didn't want to be like in photos. Yeah. I didn't want to be feminine. I didn't want to like gender stuff of it all. Like I was very like confused, and I just didn't want to be looked at. And like part of that like took me away from wanting to be in front of the camera and stuff. Or I wanted to, alternatively, if I were to be in front of the camera, I would have to have a persona or a character that would keep me safe.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I guess the question then is, when was the switch for both of you of being like, I want to be, in front of an audience, share myself, share my story, be my authentic self, not hide behind a character? Like, when was that moment for both of you?
So for me,
I'm waiting.
No. Okay.
No.
Say more.
I think, I feel like for me, it was in high school when I really figured out funny. Like, I think, and that was both an armor, but also helped me be myself. It was kind of, it first was safety, and then it became myself. Like, I just remember, like, this, just making my whole class laugh at one point, and I was like, wait, this is power. Like, this is crazy.
Totally.
And it felt so good, and I felt like I could like oscillate between two worlds and be very like, I don't know, strategic in how I show up in a space, And then I think when I went to college and I really like started experimenting and figuring out and accepting and meeting gay people, straight up just meeting a gay person.
So nice to meet you.
So good to meet you.
You know what?
Pleasure, honor. Hey.
It's a pleasure.
Hey,
Happy Pride.
And then I was like, oh, like, okay, like it's okay to be gay, obviously. Like it's okay to be yourself. It's okay. It's like, who fucking knew representation matters and works?
Well, you were on the West Coast too, like near San Diego, so it was probably a little bit more open there.
But I just didn't know anybody.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Nobody in my school was really out. Like there were definitely people who were like, you know, queer presenting, and people were like, "You're gay," and then be like, "No, I'm not," and that was me.
I think that a lot of people who like either don't have friends who are queer or just who are straight think that like being gay looks like one thing. And I remember going to my first gay bar and I was like, oh my God, I would not have known that like 70% of the people in here were gay or allies or whatever. And that was such a beautiful thing because, and at the beginning I was like, I have to start dressing a certain way or look more this or less that. And I was like, wait, I can just be me. And that relates to like the comedy performance, like bringing yourself as you are, who you are, to your sexuality, to your job, to your career. Like that's the hottest thing of all time.
Correct.
And that's what I've realized. And I don't know. Okay, back to the acting. When did you come back to it? I don't even, like before Atlantic, I don't even know if I know the answer to that.
I had been thinking about it for years. So as I got more comfortable with being me, I think there was a moment, so 3 years ago I did this speaking course, and they teach you how to prep you how to do a TED Talk, and you have 3 days, and then you have to do it in front of an audience.
Cool.
It was amazing. It was the most terrifying thing I've done. They make you dig deep. I almost quit because it came back to that same middle school, high school self where I was like, why would anybody want to hear my story? Right? So all of that was coming up. I'm like, why would anybody care? So they walked me through like how that is relatable to millions of people and how the way you can tell a story in a talk like that and actually connect and heal and all this stuff. So I finally put out this beautiful story of, you know, when I realized I was gay and sort of this whole journey through my life and my career and the culmination of it now. And it was really freeing. It was the first time I'd publicly posted that. So even though I was out and I'm in a relationship, a serious, you know, all of that, it was the first time of publicly sharing it with the world. And there was something so freeing. All this weight lifted off my shoulders. And I'd say the last final thing was having the real conversation with my parents. Because it's like, oh, they know, it's like whatever, but like until you have that and they acknowledge it, I've never felt lighter in my life. I tell everyone, I know there's no such thing as like you have to come out. There's all these things have evolved. You can do whatever you want. For me, it wasn't until that conversation that I felt so free. And that's when I realized I want to share this, whether it's a podcast, which I also just, launched, whether it's storytelling through film and TV, whether it's me in it or me producing, directing, writing, whatever, being a part of it, supporting a project. Yeah, this is so important because it changes people's lives. It changes, it heals, all of that stuff. So that's where it came from. And then I connected with Fawzia Mirza, who actually co-wrote and produced the movie we're in for Tribeca, Poreless, who had Queen of My Dreams, which is having theatrical June 20th all over the U.S.
Love.
Plugging that in. She had a major premiere at TIFF and South by and BFI. It's Amrit Kaur from Sex Lives of College Girls who stars with Hamza Haq and Nimra Butcha. I'm probably messing up her name so bad, which I should know because I'm South Asian. And
it's okay.
You're doing your best.
But I've been so Michiganized. So we got connected for Queen of My Dreams, and it was such a beautiful story. And Fawzia is a queer South Asian, and she was putting out this incredible piece of art to the world, and I was so moved by it, and I was like, let me help you however I can. And then after she got through her press tour, you sit down, you finally get to know somebody, and we had like an 8-hour dinner, me, her, and her wife, Andrea Wilson Mirza, who's also a genius. And I told him everything, my whole life and my dreams. This is what I wanted to do. And I know it's so crazy because I'm like, past 35 and like, right, this is so stupid and silly. And they literally were like, what are you talking about? You should do it. And I was like, huh? I'm like, you don't think you don't think I'm, no, but you need people who support your delusion. They were like,
you need people who support your delusion.
Your toddler delusion.
You need people who support your delusion.
And find them if you don't have them, because those are the most important people. And the way they looked at me, and they were like, so do it. And I'm like, what?
Sometimes you need permission from someone you respect, straight up.
And so they, so actually they connected me to so many people, including Harris Duran, who was our director, who's a Juilliard-trained genius, and he became an acting coach and a friend, and that's how it all sort of started. And he always tells me to this day, the first time we ever met for my first acting lesson, I was shitting bricks, I don't know what to expect, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna think I'm horrible, and he went to Juilliard, and blah, 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 oh my God, all that childhood shit coming up. And he brought a scene from My Best Friend's Wedding, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and they need to remake it, and I need to be in it. And I need to be the best friend. I need to be the best friend, right?
That for you. Holy shit.
And so we're doing this fun scene where Julia Roberts and it was Rupert, I think, I should know, again, such a bad gay. And they're in the bathroom scene doing like, it's like a girl and guy best friend doing like a funny face mask thing. And I didn't know what it was at first, and we read through it a couple times. I was like, oh my God, this is My Best Friend's Wedding. But we had so much fun reading it. So he keeps telling me, remember that first day, how much fun you had. Because literally we finished that scene and he goes, go to an audition. You're done. You're ready. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He was like, because now it's funny. I actually have regressed because now you're so in your head and oh my God, I look like this and I look like that. So I keep thinking what he told me. He's like, remember that first day, because before we were doing Poreless, he co-wrote it with Fazia and we were going over the scenes and he was like, just think about that first day where you had so much fun. Just be fun. Be you. That's what they kept saying.
I go back to that with acting. I'm in a place now where I've been training for like a year with Bob, who I'm so obsessed with.
Yes, Bob. Shout out to Bob Krakauer, who you introduced me to. Thank you. Wow, it changed my life. That 1 week masterclass, I'm like mind blown.
He's a gem, but you have to go back to why you did it in the first place.
No, I'm going to.
That sparkly feeling you get from a scene or from writing or from comedy or being on a stand-up stage. Like, holy shit, that's why we do it. Like,
where you're not like thinking, you're just, you're having fun and you're not like judging yourself or thinking about anything. So all of that sort of led to Poreless, but with so much in between. We met at Atlantic.
Poreless now.
And so what's beautiful about Poreless, which I think is so incredible, and I'm so grateful to Harris and Fazia, is they loosely based it kind of on, it was actually, was another healing journey. Poreless is about a queer Muslim beauty entrepreneur who's pitching a Shark Tank-like contest, has an allergic reaction, and enlists his siblings, and Sureni plays my incredible sister Asma, and Parvesh China plays my brother Arif, to be him because white people can't tell the difference, right? Because it's really funny. It's like
unreal.
Yeah, it's an absurd, and Bill Kirstein, who shot Mean Girls, shot it, Harris and Fazia, co-wrote it, produced, directed, and they brought together an amazing cast and crew. I mean, it was just beautiful to see it all come together. Like, I'm like a blip part of it. And they loosely based it kind of on my life in PR world, right? So like this really fabulous life, but made it like obviously different. I play a character, Akram. It's campy. It's like a version of me that's much more absurd and campy. I call it a brown gay Dan Levy. I think that's very Schitt's Creek, but make it brown, right?
And very Schitt's Creek, but make it brown.
Very campy, yeah.
And so it was so healing because you take a queer Muslim character and put them in this comedy that has nothing to do with them being brown and Muslim, right? It's just like a part of the story.
You need more of that, you know?
Yes.
Like, and they just happen to be.
Right.
God forbid we have multitudes. And
yes. And it's like a healing comedic journey, and comedy is what's going to heal us when we can laugh with each other, not at each other. So like you can poke fun at you're white, so you can poke fun at the white community, but we can laugh together. We're not like poking fun to be mean. We're so that people in the audience are like, oh my God, that's me sometimes. Eek, but haha, And same thing, like we see like tropes about like us, and we're like, ooh yeah, that is, and then we also have a laugh, right? Like about like immigrant upbringing. So it's if we laugh with each other, then at each other, I think that's really special. We have to.
I think I'm curious your thoughts on laughing with each other in person at a show versus on social media. Like,
what do you mean?
Comedy in general, right? Like you're doing stand-up, you're doing shows, you're also posting stuff online.
Sure.
I think that the social media ecosystem can become much more laughing at someone than with someone, and it can become, a offensive, then it's not comedy, and then it's racist, or it's taken out of context.
sure.
But I think in person, even if something is said, a joke is made that's like, even people are uncomfortable to hear it if it's about you or if it's about them or whatever, but you can still laugh at it because we're having this communal experience.
Totally. I mean, I think it's what you said. Like, social media lacks context. Like, it literally is a short clip that the algorithm pushes out because it's like triggering some sort of emotion quickly. So it's not putting out.
Perfect example of
It's not putting out like, you know, content that is like necessarily deep. It's just like easily consumable,
snackable,
bingeable, whatever.
And that like 3 seconds before we switch.
No, literally, you have
like,
less than that even.
I know.
It's only getting shorter. So it's like, I think the whole point is that something said out of context is usually crazy.
Totally.
Versus if you were there for the whole hour conversation, you'd understand maybe this joke has more, whatever depth to it. So yeah, I mean, I think it's like you have to think of social media as like it is a different tool that has different pros and cons, and like stand-up has a different pros and cons, and like what you can accomplish. Like the fact that social media has a visual element, that's something that you can play with. Like, I can't do that with stand-up. I can do an act out, but that's not, you know what I mean?
If your younger selves, both of you, could see what the process and experience you just had in making Poreless and how it's being received now, like what would they say?
Damn, bitch, look at you go. That's what
I mean, I can't believe that I did a movie that is going to be on a global stage about being gay and Muslim. Like, to me, that is like...
I believe it.
Yeah, well, but it's... So if you're saying what my younger self would be like, holy shit, you know, like, because the younger self felt like they didn't deserve to be seen. Mm-hmm. So then to be seen on a major stage, so thank you, Tribeca, and all the festivals that were, not just Tribeca, but, you know, Tribeca and Inside Out, all these that give you these platforms. The point is for millions of people to see it, and hopefully there's other people, kids like us, you know, who are feeling that, doing stage crew when they should be the fucking lead.
Yeah.
Hopefully they see that and, they make the change and they become the lead in high school and don't wait 30 years like I did.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's what the impact should be, but my younger self, like, I think is just in shock that like he's being celebrated in a way. That character that grew up, Akram, is like, if my younger self really probably embraced his most campy queer self, would probably have become Akram. But you know, we could go a million different directions in life.
No, but you got your right timing at the right time.
Absolutely.
What does Bob say? Infinite possibilities. How many ways could you do a scene? Infinite ways, right? So life also, it's infinite. That's the point. Life is infinite. Like, if we did this conversation again and she posed all these questions again, it would be a completely different conversation.
100%. I'm also curious, like, I just love, and it's funny because I've been on a little bit of like a skin journey. I got a facial that like literally like, and I've like never had acne in my LIFE. Wow. And I have a little now, and I'm like, ooh, but I'm gonna put a hat on. I'm scared. True.
Yeah, have you gotten your period yet?
I want an IUD,
She really
guys.
Taller toddler.
I haven't gotten my period. Holy shit, you guys are. This is so fun. Oh my god. No, but I love the part where you like. I don't want to. No spoilers for Poreless. You have to see it, but. I just love like what it says at the end about the beauty standard, and when you kind of come out and you're like, this is me and this is it, and I mean, I'm curious what you guys are hoping, and what I'm blanking on his name, but the director and creator are hoping, like the biggest takeaway is, or the feeling that you want people to leave with after they watch this amazing 13-minute film.
I'm sure Sureni has something amazing to say too. But
you believe in me so much. I'm like, what is something poignant and insightful I can say right now?
I think it's that the most beautiful thing you can be is your most authentic self, which is what we've been talking about. And I think that it doesn't matter like that it's a queer Muslim person. It doesn't matter anything. The point of anybody watching it should walk out being like, I'm fucking amazing exactly as I am, and I should embrace myself. Like if somebody who's maybe in that self-hating phase or in the lack of self-worth phase walks out being like, yeah, I deserve it, or I should quit that job tomorrow, or I should break up with that person. That's what we want. We want people to realize, nobody should make a rash decision. I think what Kerry Washington said with her pause, oh my God, spoiler alert, don't make a rash decision. Spoilers. But Kerry Washington had this, she did this interview where she talks about pause. Anytime something crazy happens or you're trying to make a big life decision, or somebody says something but you're about to react, she says pause, which stands for postpone actions until serenity emerges.
Right?
Thank
you, Carrie.
And it's so
Wow.
on point because, so what I was saying is like, yes, we want people to leave with realizations and feel good about themselves, but don't make a rash decision. Just be Poreless, because we want you to pause like Harry Washington. And then once you're sort of like composed in any
Center
situation,
yourself.
then So that's, anyway, that was my long thing of what I want people to leave with. But Sureni, you tell us.
Beautiful. I mean, I'll echo that. I think it's like showing up as yourself will always make you feel the best, because I feel like Akram's character was like trying to hide behind his siblings, and it was afraid of being perceived as like, you know, this person who has this like, you know, rash or whatever, and then he just kind of owned it, and then he was like, I am what I am, and like, period, that's it. And you know, you had your siblings behind you supporting you, coming out for you. And I'm sorry, these are spoilers, I'm sorry.
Well,
like, maybe
post it next week, whatever.
But I think it was just like, it's essentially that is like, if you show up as yourself, people will see that. People want you to show up ugly. Like, I know we all talk about like authenticity and stuff, but it is real. It's like, people are not pretty year round, are not beautiful year round. Internally, you have days you're just sad. Like, I was just rolling around on the floor last night, and my roommate's like, you're in your luteal phase, and I was like, shut up, bitch. and I think she's right. I'm about to have my period.
We're all about to have our period.
We're all about to have our period.
Yes.
And I think it's just that I think it really is like intense self-acceptance and accepting that you won't come correct every single time, and that is okay, because that would be literally impossible.
Insane.
It would be insane. You would be living a life for other people if you were trying to show up perfect every single
And
time.
I used to do this thing where I wouldn't want to, it was kind of psychotic saying it out loud, but I wouldn't want to see my friends, or like, I would only want to present a version of myself in college that was like the on Ella version that everyone knows. And when I was in my metaphorical or literal luteal phase, I would like hide from the world. And now I've started up, whether there's pimples, whether there's chaos, whether there's whatever, I'm like, I'm Ella, this is how I'm showing up today. It can look different from how I showed up yesterday, and it can look different from how I'm showing up tomorrow. Energy attracts energy, and like, people respond well to that because it's relatable as fuck.
Yep.
And so I just relate to even you saying that. But which is also kind of a perfect transition to, basically we kind of like round out the conversation with like some rapid fire, hilarious, deep, silly questions about adulting. So are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
I need to know if you both have roommates. Roommate etiquette. If you did have roommates, or like one of the craziest, most disrespectful, insane things that has ever happened between you and a roommate. Like they ate your special yogurt, or they had someone sleep over when they said they wouldn't. Like, what is the most insane thing that has happened with you and your roommate?
Oh my God,
I'm scanning because I'm thinking.
I'm like, I hope he doesn't watch this.
No.
Yeah, I had a roommate
He won't watch
ages
it.
ago, and then he had
Chlamydia. I'm
yeah,
kidding.
no.
I'm kidding.
a girlfriend that like was supposed to just be staying occasionally, who kind of moved in. We only had one bathroom, and like right now, like I need, even if I'm like with somebody in a relationship, I need my own bathroom. Okay, that's just where we are in life.
I love that.
But I'd say that's not. I'd say that wasn't the worst thing. The worst thing might have been.
Say it.
Might have been that she really needed a pedicure.
She has some of those concrete slappers, those fucking claws, talons. Oh my God.
Forgive me if you ever hear this. And I'm sure you're like,
That's so crazy. You're like,
Akbar.
you can leave dirty dishes, but clip those nails.
I was like,
That's so crazy.
I couldn't look at the feet. It was so bad.
Just look at the ceiling. Just look at the ceiling.
There are tears in my eyes. Holy
That's
shit.
that bad? Describe the feet. Were they like
I mean, it was just
crunchy? Were they flaking?
You would like look at me. Oh,
Was it like
long?
And I literally was like, can I like get a gift card? Like, it's so nice to have you staying with us. Like a little
If
gift
somebody
for
gave
you.
me a
like,
pedicure, if my roommate gave me a pedicure gift card, I'd kill myself.
We weren't like besties, so I couldn't be like group mani pedis. Let's go on me.
Oh, see, that's cute.
And
Okay,
also
that's really nice.
I was just starting out in New York, so I could barely afford the rent, let alone like somebody
Sure.
else. Get a mani-pedi.
But for your mental health, you're like, I will give up this
That's
money.
out of control.
I was using my
That's so
siblings'
funny.
I don't know if you can
seamless
top
That bad?
Were the feet webbed?
I don't know. I can't. I think like I blacked out that like moment.
Basically,
so
Akbar
wild.
had a roommate who had a girlfriend with bad feet, and that is his roommate horror story.
So funny.
Okay, what's one part of adulting that absolutely sucks?
Admin work. I'm sorry. I hate an email.
Yes.
I hate a text message.
Wait, I like
time
an email. Is that weird?
I don't like. Give me a phone call instead because.
Well, I email and text you. I'm like, how am I gonna get her to respond?
No, I know,
I'm
I know.
Sorry, I emailed you. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. No, and it's like part of being a person. I've gotten
is
better
part
at
of
it. But it is just like I'm like, can we just make this a phone call? Like that's very not Gen Z of me. But to me, a phone call is so much faster than a text message. Do you know what I mean?
Are you a voice note person?
I would rather that. Frankly, a phone call is the best because we just handle business and then we keep it pushing.
Totally.
Versus a text message, now it's sitting there. Now I have to say
Mark is
warmly
unread.
Sereni. I have to say
Or you have to heart it.
I have to put a fucking heart emoji. I'm like, just fucking call me, and this could have been 30 seconds.
That's what you say. You're a warmly girl?
Yeah, I say warmly. I think it's kind of cute.
Yeah, what's your email signature?
It used to just be like best regards, but then
Best
I'm like,
regards?
So now I just say thank you.
I'm not responding to you.
Like, even
Best
if I'm responding
regards?
to somebody and I'm like, thank you so much, and I write thank you.
Wait, you know what
Thank you so much, thank you.
You know what I do? Sometimes to feel like sexy in my email, I just leave my letter E. My email signature on my iPhone is sent from iPhone. Please excuse my atypical brevity as I am likely multitasking or squeezing into a subway car while responding. That gets
I
very
like that.
positive. That's very
That's
Ella.
cute. That's
She
cute.
thinks it's annoying, but it's very
cute.
Ella. So when
That's
people
cute.
get that, it gotta add personality
No, I
wherever you
get it.
can.
No, it's got some life to it.
You know,
I like
you
it.
gotta add life.
It's like when
Okay.
you get those out of office from people, like, I'm on a 14-day meditative retreat.
Yeah, oh my God.
And I send blessings and moonlight to you, you know? And you're just like, but like, you're like,
It's such a flex.
You're like, no, I actually need you to fucking respond right now because
Yeah.
we're in a crisis with your brand. Like, you know?
100%. I really need to know what is a word that you both still cannot spell as a grown-up without autocorrect.
Diarrhea. I don't know where the R's go.
Nauseous.
I don't know where
Nauseous
the
is such a weird
nauseous.
Nausea.
I don't-
Nausea or nausea, but like
I don't know.
And it always like
Diarrhea.
The way that I can't spell diarrhea so bad that even autocorrect doesn't know what's in.
Well, what do you need,
I'm not
Terraria?
even- But I still don't know. Like, okay, D-I-A.
I love how quickly it came to you. Try it.
D-I-A.
D-I-A.
R-H-I-A. No, there's two. Either there's two R's or two H's.
Two H's EA, right?
Diarrhea.
There's an E at the end.
I thought it's EA at the end, no?
Diarrhea.
Oh, I was right.
Okay.
Diarrhea.
Okay. That's big
Diarrhea.
brain over there. And while we're at, matter of fact, while we're at it, hemorrhoid. How the hell? It's the same. What is it with the butt stuff? That I don't know. The R's and the H's.
When it comes to spelling, though, I have to say I lost the middle school spelling bee to marijuana, and I think I will call this out, Forest Hills Northern Middle School in Grand Rapids,
That is
Michigan. I
hilarious.
think that's so inappropriate to ask a middle schooler
To
how to
spell-
spell marijuana, and I spelled
That's
it
so
M-E-R-H-U-A-N-A because I didn't even know what it was. And now I know it's marijuana.
They're like, can you use it in a sentence?
so
Snoop
marijuana
Dogg loves
was like an
marijuana.
honorary award, and I claim that win.
Wait,
I won an
that is like
honorary
one of the
award.
funniest things anyone has ever said on this show. What
Can you
is
spell Percocet?
marijuana?
How are you gonna ask this?
Can you
spell heroin? That's so crazy.
Okay.
so wild.
When you guys were in 7th or 8th grade in middle school, what is like a song that reminds you of that time?
Middle school or what?
Yeah, middle school.
Middle
like a
school?
song that your parents played a lot, that you listened to a lot.
Maria. You know what that song? What was that song? Gypsy Kings?
I
It's a
love
West
the
Side
Gypsy
Story.
Kings.
Oh, West
but I
Side
don't know how to
Story.
sing. I have no rhythm.
You're such
so
a theater guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about though. I know the song.
Gypsy Kings, I know and love. But I don't think that's what you were talking about. What's
Mine,
Oh, it's
mine,
not- that's not
for some
Gypsy-
that comes to mind is "I'll Follow You Into the Dark" by Death Cab for Cutie.
Okay, I'm gonna play it.
I was sad, bro. I was sad in middle school.
Weren't we all?
Say my name again. That song.
Say my name. Say that song.
No,
You
that's.
know when is
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know.
Guys,
Who was that?
it's getting crazy over here.
I think it's the sugar. I honestly ate a fruit roll up, a Ritz.
I know we're
I'm
having
like
The Ritz is who?
ooh,
I know.
Santana.
That's dope.
Santana, Gypsy Kings. I mean, that shows my musical.
That's perfect. What about you?
It's a beautiful day by U2.
I don't know that. I'm so sorry. That was hard to watch. That was hard to watch because you really put your whole fucking foot into that.
Do you guys believe in friend groups?
What?
As adults, do you believe in friend
Yeah.
groups? You do. You have a friend group.
Wait.
I hate that.
Akbar's like crying.
Okay, Sereni believes in pigeons and
What
friend
do you
groups.
mean a friend group?
Like one group that you like exist in and do everything with.
I see what you're saying. You know,
in the high school way.
I don't think that it's the same as high school. Like, I think that there is like a group of people where you're like, oh, this is a good group to party with.
Okay.
This is a good group to like maybe whatever with, or you hang out with individuals. I know everybody has like these, you know, crazy schedules and stuff. But I have seen people I don't think I exist in that world as much because I think I was always the type of person who had like, I was part of many friend groups.
Yeah.
But I didn't have like the core, like, you know, because I just was friends with so many different types of people. And I think that's what I think being in comedy is like that as well, where there's like, it's kind of like high school where there's like hundreds of comics and then you see each other in classes, aka shows.
Yeah.
So you're in passing. And so there's a lot of like passive hangouts, which is really cool. I don't think a lot of people have that as adults, but I do. But I also feel like, I feel like I have like different pockets of like friend groups that I will like tap into and stuff. But I don't know. It's also like a lot of people don't want to gather people. That's the thing. People love a house party, but people don't want to throw a house party, and that is labor. It's a labor of love to gather
labor,
people.
But it's so worth
it takes effort. It's like unpaid labor.
And curating like people, you know, in the space.
Absolutely.
I feel like you'd be good at that.
I think you would be great at that.
I'm horrible.
What, you don't believe in friend groups?
I do. I relate to you that I've always had like different friends for different things.
Yeah.
And like, I love my Chicago friends, which is where I'm from, Midwest. But college, like it changes, and then you kind of have some friends like we grow apart, and that's unsexy.
That's a normal human
People
cycle.
die.
I think you're gonna, if you have the one, I think my opinion, my hot take, you are only gonna have 1 to 3 people that are gonna be lifers because
that's a hot take.
It's a tight circle.
Doesn't mean you won't have friends.
It's a triangle.
We would always hang out
for
and
me.
be in touch, and like what I'm saying is those people that are like, and I have, you know, one of those for sure, and maybe because people evolve, but if you have that one that's like a constant, you have to hold on to that person who's been with you through all the phases, and you evolved, and like you keep morphing for each other, but otherwise you just evolve. Like the group that I was in my 20s, like you were saying, it was so hardcore, like going out a lot. I don't go out as much anymore.
Sure,
people are still in that mindset, which is nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I think you can.
I
don't
hear what
think
you're
you
saying.
can have the same group, but you can have those lifers, and you can have a few. I think you can have different groups of lifers.
I love that.
You can have the lifers from childhood.
Right.
Like I have some of those where like we don't see each other for like 10 years, but when we see each other again, it's like you have those core memories.
Nothing ever.
Damn, once a decade hang is crazy.
See you at 20, 30, 40, and 50.
Booked and busy. Sureni.
I know you really are. I'm like, I need to lock in.
So booked and busy.
He is. I'm flattered.
Okay, I see that for lifers thing where it's like you have to really like give those people energy. Like one of my best friends lives on the West Coast, and we FaceTime. We have to because you're not leaving me. You're gonna be my friend.
Totally.
And we FaceTime.
Yeah, Sangha, who she knows she's my lifer, but she'll like if we haven't spoken in like 2-3 weeks, she'll WhatsApp me and she'll be like, "Don't you dare! Like where are you?"
Some of my closest friends,
she'll keep calling till I answer, and she's like, "I see you. You're active on Instagram. Pick up the phone." You know, and I'm like, "Fuck! I just didn't feel like talking."
I love it.
Like,
what would you tell your younger self, specifically a younger version of yourself who was sad, who couldn't see that Poreless and comedy and writing and Bob and all of it was like gonna work out so beautifully? What would you tell them?
It gets better. Don't kill yourself. It gets better.
Yes, well, seriously, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would just say like just keep being yourself. I don't know, like keep being yourself. Yes, like you are like know that you're worth it. Like I think if you could anchor that self-worth, which is so hard when you're that young, but just like I think that's what I would say because I evolved for so many people and tried to be different things, but I think if I just stayed true to myself.
Yeah, I think my younger self would think of my older self that you're dope. Like that you're like dope. That you're like hot and funny and cool and like you show up for yourself and you pour into your relationships and all these things and you are literally the inspiration that you wish you had as a kid. Like I actually am so stoked on who I've become and I worked fucking hard to get here. I've been in years of therapy.
Oh hell yes.
I've smoked a lot of weed,
baby.
you know.
So much marijuana.
I've journaled, you know. I've talked to elders. I talked to the youth. That sounds like I hang out in a middle school talking to people. I like
elders
but
help.
It is like showing up for yourself and I think my little kid self would be like really happy that someone like me exists for myself and for other people. Like we still are in a very new age of like representation, and I do think that we are still. You and I are. How many gay Muslim fucking shows exist? Like that's not a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
we're
like
breaking barriers.
It is
We're
like
the first.
we really are
down.
like setting it up for other people, and I think that my younger self would be so proud of me for participating that and helping bring that into fruition. Just like the world will catch up to you. Like just keep showing up as yourself, and the world will catch up to you, and like keep creating and like keep like building joy. And I think I don't know, I think that's kind of it.
That's such a beautiful note to end on. You guys, cheers.
So fun.
Did you guys have fun? Was it?
Yes.
Was it different than other interviews?
I'll never do an interview like this again.